All right. You're watching TVC, and we are in the Decision 2023 studio. We've been doing analysis of the election, the fallout of the election. Right now, the INEC National Collation Centre is opening, and any moment from now, at the International Conference Centre in Abuja, they will commence the reeling out of some of the results from various states. Everyone is waiting, security agents, election observers from around the world, the media, civil society organization, party agents, and the media, civil society. All of them are there, waiting, just waiting patiently for the INEC chairman to commence the process. So it's going on there. We'll certainly bring you up to speed with that. Also, in Asaba, in Delta State, we're also waiting for them to commence the collation, also within the state. Also in River State, in Port Harcourt, they are doing the same. We'll bring you up to speed with all of those from across the state. And we have King Fatunke with us in the studio, as well as Alistair Wilcox, who have been helping us to make sense of all of the issues that surround the election. Now, before we went on break, we were talking about what Nigerians really want from whoever becomes the leader and so on. Alistair was saying that, well, in the past, Nigerians have had a lot of expectation and their hopes have been dashed so many times. But this time around, I wonder what whoever becomes leader will, in retrospect, look back to see, okay, I think we have disappointed Nigerians, even if we don't apologize. Like Alistair was saying, that our leaders are not very good with apologizing.
In short supply, very short in supply.
But what can they make to say, okay, I think let's do this thing differently? What are you seeing? What do Nigerians want?
Nigerians are very simple, though complex.
That is a very strong paradox. Simple and complex.
We are resilient. We take a lot of suffering. Fela called it suffering and smiling. No other race that I think I've read about are like that, but we are now being tilted to a tipping point. So what I think Nigerians want is to have a sense of belonging, and so we need to have an elite consensus. It's not so much what Alistair mentioned. You ask them, what do they want? I just want good life. Okay. An elite consensus that thinks of those at the bottom of the pyramid, and that can come by a pragmatic leader who will ensure that the essence of governance is security, and it's also going to be one that it is economy. Our fiduciary and our policy should be such that they have a proper kiss and it is integrated in a way that takes care of those at the bottom pyramid. I think Nigerians also want to see Papa, Mama, Oyoyo as those who have jackpot out there to make an environment that is going to be conducive, going to be very fair for people to thrive. What Nigerians are looking for is the ability to ply their trade and their capacity. Again, that may now then come back to we looking at ourselves and saying, the templates that we are running and that we have been running, is it going to take us to a desired destination? Okay, let's now say level playing field with a lot of compassion this time around. And one of the first things that I, as an elite, will be saying to all my people who may not understand is the fact that we need to take a population census. Who are we? Where are we? Where do we belong to? Because we need this for the purpose of planning. If you plan to fail, you fail to plan, or you plan and fail all at the same time, it will just be wuru that we are finding. So we need to step back a little bit, get that vision, and just ensure that we put that even level playing field, and we begin to have competition. Is that sounding something? the construction of the federal constitution that we have not just only lied against itself, it's lied about so many things. So many things are not working. Now, if you do not produce, you cannot be seen to eat. We can take care of you one way or the other, but those who produce will be the ones that will be at the... Now, I'm not being capitalist now. We have to define where we are going. Are we welfareists? Do we have the funds to be able to do welfare? And I also expect that Nigerians need somebody or a set of people that will tell them the truth. One of the basic truths is that our education is in shambles. We need to put that back in place. And we need somebody that is going to be strong enough to say this is how it is done elsewhere. Must not put your hand and say you must be the one that must put education in the exclusive list when people are suffering down the line, down to my own area, oil and gas. The truth of the matter is that Nigerians, as an elite, I have to say that, look, there's going to be some additional belt tightening. This corruption that we have in our regime of subsidy or no subsidy is not going to work for anybody. And nobody, of course, naturally, everybody is going to say, what exactly are you saying? And I will say that I'm ready to lead by that example. There are ways that our taxation can be made to punish more of those with gifting or luxury, and then be able to take that away to support the poor. I spoke about the fact that we need to do a population census. Attached to that, again, is the fact that we must look at ourselves straight in the eye and then decide that, look, this is our overburgeoning population. We need to look at it. We cannot continue that way. We cannot, and we must tell ourselves the truth. It doesn't matter if you are going to be talking about cultural thing here and there, and if Alistair's culture is different from my own, no, Alistair, there's no problem. Go and do your culture how you want to do it. Let me do my own. And so we'll be talking about restructuring. We have to look at that very, very critically, and those steps, which may be feeble steps, must be something that at the end of the day, Nigerians will say, it may be hard now. I'm seeing you lead by example. I'm not seeing your private jets taking your children out there. I'm not seeing your first lady is doing things that are out of the constitution or whatever it is. I know where I am. I am structured in a way that it should not be too much of a strong federal government. It should percolate down to the states. Finally, I expect that what Nigerians want to see is a leader or a set of leaders, not rulers now, who will be able to come down to the villages. Because if you come down to my level, I can tell you, if some of our leaders and our representatives, if they go to live in the villages, those places are going to be developed. But you stay somewhere, you are so much far detached, and you expect that
you're governing virtually.
And you keep on thinking that one day, these people that I have described as resilient people will not get to the wall if you push them there, and then they'll come back to want to swallow you. Let's wake up and smell the coffee.
All right.
Nigeria may be a work in progress. We've been very, very slow. But with a tip like that, I'm pressing the right buttons. Even, mark my words, the US, our Great Britain, Germany are just waiting to say, hey, the giant of Africa has really come. And then on the international scene, I'd like us to go back and then make Africa the centerpiece of our policy. We have a few Nigerians who are playing in the first league out there in multilateral organizations. They are making the right moves. We need to go out there and say, Africa, here we come. We might have failed over time, but now we have a leader in the mode of a Thomas Sankara, an Nkrumah, an Awolowo, an Nnamdi Azikiwe, who will say, come on, we are ready to win the world. But it has to be making sure that we start with very, very good example.
All
it's
right.
very easy to do, but it's discipline.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I want to pick a few things for what my brother just said. You see, let's smell the coffee as a people. I know that there are things that we're doing now that we're not doing rightly. And there are some burdens that are being carried that hitherto is not helping and cannot make the country fly. Let's be honest about it. You see, one thing I want the next government to do is to also be able to let Nigerians understand the roles and responsibility of every levels of governance. See, a lot of people think that the pepper they are buying in the market is the federal government problem. A lot of people think that primary school education is the federal government problem. So when there's problem, they all look up to Abuja. Meanwhile, Abuja is handicapped by the Constitution to help you. We must be able to let people know, even from this forum, that there are things that your state governor should be doing that he's not doing, that you must hold him accountable. And then let's also then we know when to hold the man that also rock accountable. This time around, we just model up everything. And that is why local government chairmen are running amok of their, whatever their roles are. State governors, apart from Lagos and a few states that want to be responsible, are running amok of their own responsibilities. And because they know, at the end of the day, there is somebody, and which is the federal government. And the federal government is the father. He will not come and be telling you, no, it's not my responsibility to. he will just swallow it. And then we keep having this notion that the country is not working. Meanwhile, the bits that everybody's supposed to be doing to make it work, those people are not doing. Of course, the other person cannot come and do it. I can talk about our unchecked population. Look, I did the last project I did with Rotary International, Child and Maternal Care, that was the project. And my eyes opened to the time bomb we are sitting on. Since then, since the project ended early this year, I have anywhere I go, I say it. We must talk to ourselves about our population. Because just like Karl who said that population is growing in geometrical progression, while food production...
that's Malthus.
Yes. While food production and other infrastructure is going in arithmetical progression. Meanwhile, population is going in geometrical proportion. Look, we did this project in some hospitals, and in a hospital where data shows that you are having about 85 to 100 live births in a month. One hospital. 85 to 100 live births every... Now, and the project is to help maternal so that there will be less mortality in maternal, childcare, maternal. That just to improve on access to...
In fact, to add to that, I think UNICEF came up with their data that on the first day of January 2023, in Nigeria, we had an average of about 25,000 babies on New Year Day.
Exactly.
New Year Day.
Exactly. And see, it's not only by a certain tribe or certain religion. It cuts across every strata now of the economy.
All right.
Teenage pregnancies, adult pregnancies, just everywhere.
I think INEC chairman just arrived, and he's coming now to begin the process that everyone has been waiting for.
44 minutes late.
And it's 6:45 right now. He promised, INEC had said that will commence at 6 o'clock. So as far as everyone is concerned, it's about 45 minutes late, but it's starting anyway. Everyone has been waiting, and those who are joining around the world are waiting to see what's going to commence right now, and history being made. Everyone in Nigeria are watching what's going on right now, and some results from some states, a few states have arrived so far, and he had set the ground rules earlier, and he's going to commence that any moment from now. People are there at the ICC, at the National Collation Centre. There are others watching virtually. There are others also watching from around the world as to what is going on at the INEC Center. We'll listen to him the moment he starts his speech. We'll listen to him and give him voice for us to hear what he will say.
Party agents, heads of election observer groups here present, chairmen and chairpersons of electoral commissions of sister African countries here present, members of the diplomatic corps, heads of CSOs and NGOs here present, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commission, I welcome you all to what I will call the evening session of the collation of presidential results. Please permit me to specially recognize the presence of the British High Commissioner herself, Katrina Lange. You're welcome, Your Excellency, and the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Brett. You're welcome, Your Excellency. On that note, it's my pleasure to invite Honorable Chairman of INEC to please make some remarks and continue your job.
Okay, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the commencement of collation of election results for the 2023 general election. As I said in my statement at the opening of the Collation Centre this afternoon, we will be taking the state collation officers for the presidential election, accompanied by the resident electoral commissioners. There is a seat by my left, and there are two chairs there. One is for the REC, the other one is for the state collation officer for the presidential election. I understand that we have the result for Ekiti State. And so it is my pleasure to invite Professor Abayomi Salami, the resident electoral commissioner for Ekiti State, to come forward with the state collation officer for the presidential election. And they should introduce themselves, and then the scope will formally present the result. As he is presenting, we'll also project the result on the screens in this hall. We requested them to send the result on a secure email based on what transpired at the polling units as collated at ward level, local government level, and state level. So you'll all follow with us the collation as announced by the state collation officer for the presidential election. So why the REC Ekiti State? Okay, REC Ekiti and the Vice Chancellor. I think of the Federal University of Health Sciences, Ila Irangun, Osun State. They are not even from the same state. So please come forward, take your seats, introduce yourselves, and formally present the result for Ekiti State. Resident Electoral Commissioner, speak to the microphone. Introduce yourself and let the scope introduce himself before the result is presented.
Thank you, sir. I am Professor Ayobami Salami, Resident Electoral Commissioner for Ekiti State. And with me is the collation officer for the state.
Good evening, all. I am Professor Akeem Olawale Lasisi. I am the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Earth Sciences, Ilarogun in Osun State, and I am the Presidential Collation Officer for Ekiti State.
Right, Scob, please continue.
Okay, sir.
Tell us the number of local governments in the state and the other details, and make your submission thereafter. Please go ahead.
Ekiti State has 16 local governments with total number of registered voters, 987,647. Total number of accredited voters, 315,058. The total number of votes received by the presidential candidates of each of the political parties are as follows. Party A, 69 votes. Party AA, 29 votes. Party AAC, 108 votes. Party ADC, 1,337 votes, 1337. Party ADP, 737 votes, 737. Party APC, 201,494. Party APC, 201,494. Party APGA, APGA, 268 votes. Party APM, 46 votes. Party APP, 91 votes. Party BP, 46 votes. Party LP, 11,397 votes. Party LP, 11,397. Party NNPP, 264 votes. Party NRM, 131 votes. Party PDP, 89,554 votes. Party PDP, 89,554 votes. Party PRP, 48 votes. Party SDP, 2,011 votes. Party SDP, 2011. Party YPP, 81 votes. Party ZLP, 460 votes. Total number of valid votes, 308,171. 308,171. Total number of rejected votes, 6,301. Total number of rejected votes, 6,301. Total vote cast, 314,472. Total vote cast, 314,472.
Okay, thank you very much, Scope. Are there places where election did not hold or cancelled for sundry malpractices?
Yes, sir. There are 2 places where elections where we had cancellation. The total number of registered voters in the polling unit is 1,786. And the areas, Ado-Ekiti local government, Ward 4, polling unit 7, and Ekiti East local government, Ward 7, polling unit 6. The reasons for the cancellation are bypass of beavers and
EC40G,
yes, sir.
and you are here with the EC40G,
Yes, sir.
as well as the EC8D.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Party agents, any comments, any observations on the presentation? Okay, State Collation Officer, please present the original results to me. Okay, sorry. Question. Please give him the mic.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Dino Melaye, party agent, PDP. I just want to be educated. I have bypass of the beavers responsible for the cancellation. I just want to understand what it means, bypassing beavers. Thank you.
Okay, State Collation Officer.
Yeah. As reported from the local government, there was there were certain number of voters that were recorded, and they found out that the number recorded for voting was more than what was reported, what was recorded in the beavers, and that was the reason why he reported it as overvoting.
Okay, PDP agent, satisfied? Yeah, express your satisfaction using the microphone so that we hear you.
Satisfied.
Thank you very much. So State Collation Officer and the Resident Electoral Commissioner, you may step forward to present your reports. Okay. May I have the EC40G? Is it in the envelope? Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. So result for Ekiti State, duly considered and taken. Collation Secretariat, do we have any more state collation officers and vice chancellors on the queue? No more for today? Okay. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today, right now, we have only Ekiti State. But we are aware that there will be many more states concluding tonight and coming to Abuja. We'll make a special arrangement to bring them over quickly where there are no commercial flights to bring them and where they are separated by a considerable distance from Abuja. So on this note, and as I said in the afternoon, there will be interludes. We hereby adjourn and reconvene at 11 in the morning tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What's that? What?
The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, just announced, just commenced the process, and the resident electoral commissioner from the Ekiti State has given the summation of the results from Ekiti State for the presidential election, and that is what you see on the screen right now. APC has 201,000 votes, Labour Party 11,000, NNPP 264,000, PDP 89,000, as announced by INEC. So we wait to see From what the INEC chairman has said, others are in transit. A few other states have concluded and are in transit to Abuja. Then there are others that are making conclusions right now. Recall that we brought you visuals from Asaba Delta State earlier. Also visuals from Port Harcourt, River State. There are also several other states. We understand Jigawa is getting set for collation process. We also understand that Benue State is also getting its own process together. And we'll certainly bring all of these together, and the resident electoral commissioners and the returning officers are expected in Abuja. And the process will now commence tomorrow at 11 a.m. as announced by the chairman of INEC. So for today, there will not be any more, even if they come in through the night, there won't be announcement of results until tomorrow at 11 a.m. So that's the result so far. Ekiti is the first state. We're waiting for 35 other states, including the Federal Capital Territory. So that's it. You can begin to tabulate. This is the authentic results coming out now. What you see or what you've been seeing on social media, you could keep that aside now and then begin to dwell on what INEC, this is the authentic result now that anyone, anywhere in the world is going to work with. Whether they are a foreign media or international organization, this is the authentic result right now. So Ekiti is the first state that has had complete results presented to INEC so far. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., the process will commence. And I still have with me Akin Fatunke here in the studio, as well as Alistair Wilcox. Now, Akin, I wonder what you make of that, though. Ekiti is number one, and you see the performance of the various political parties there is really interesting. Many political parties participated in the process.
I would say to you again, first on the block, 35 more to go, plus the Federal Capital Territory. What came to me clearly is the performance of Labour Party in that state. And I dare say that Ekiti State, being the fountain of knowledge, also recognizes the fact that over and above, by what we have just seen, the PDP, the NNPP, whose presidential candidate, if I am not wrong, did his youth call around there, or maybe in Osun State, and all that. Ekiti State has made a decision that we are still the ray, and that as fountain of knowledge in the Southwest, Labour Party, you are welcome. And I also think it's a statement in the right direction. I am hopeful that when the other states come, we are naturally, traditionally, winners take all kind of situation. We are going to see some kind of reciprocation. In other words, on one hand, I expect that the Labour Party will make some very good showing in this election, and I expect the APC to also make very good showing elsewhere, and the rest. I am looking at the starting. I am not too particularly happy that of the 18, I don't know how many were fielded, only 4. Okay, maybe we've just shown the first 4. That had what you can describe as substantial. So what happens to the rest? Under normal circumstances, what you see is alignment and realignment and swallowing and
the mergers and so on.
And maybe that happened by way of just paper thing. So congratulations to the APC, who's taking the lead in there. I also think that reflects, by way of a ratchet effect, on what I thought I saw at the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu during the primaries. And we had a strong candidate in Kayode Fayemi, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, who initially I thought was, well, if this is going to be zoned to the south, I dare say, and I must say that I think he was a good candidate, was young, was boisterous, what have you, but he did something that surprised a lot of people and said in the typical Omoluabi way, you held me in here, you were looking, and then stepped down for him and all that. So I saw a lot of that kind of play. And don't forget also that the incumbent, so Ibanji, is really the popular candidate that came from the belly of the cow, the his group. So I'm really not too surprised that they all worked together and the Ekiti Parapo came together to deliver that state to the APC. Congratulations, Jagaban.
All right.
Well, first, the process. I mean, just like we said from the beginning.
Process.
Just like we said from the beginning. Ekiti has, I don't think there's an airport between Ekiti and Abuja, so they will have traveled by road. Although it's I mean, from Ekiti to Abuja, I think it's about a 4 or 5 hour journey. How they made it, I didn't know. And I congratulate Ekiti for being the first to announce the rebel. Not even Abuja, where the INEC office is. I mean, where they are, and or Nasarawa, that is just a next door. But it's okay. What I see, like you say, I'm surprised that NNPP just got only 264 votes. It's quite abysmal for a party that is the fourth party in the mix. Let me congratulate PDP. That was a good showing in the kit. It's 9,000 votes, and when I know that they have a lot of division, Fayose was, I mean, at some point, Fayose, who is the kingpin of the party, was at loggerhead with the party in Ekiti, and so I don't know who Fayose worked for. So for PDP to garner up to 89,000 votes, it's commendable as far as that shows. You see, that shows what they call true and fair election. I mean, the APC, Jagaban is a Yoruba man. Ekiti is a core Yoruba state. And if the PDP that do not have a governor, I'm not sure they have any House of Assembly. I don't know the structure, but I know they have a senator in Olujimi, what's her name? Okay, and I'm sure they have 1 or 2 House of Rep members. Now, if they stick, and even with Fayose not having issue, and they could still muster 89,000 votes, then that means democracy has really come to stay.
It means they actually worked hard.
Yes, it means they worked hard, even when the odds are against them. You know, and also for the Labour Party, a new party, with the appeal of the youth, with strong appeal of the youth. Unfortunately, 11,000, not a bad showing. Not a bad showing, because
I don't even think it should be an unfortunate thing, because they're just coming on board. Yes. For them to get this much votes,
a big appeal
it tells that it's a good thing.
Yes, a big appeal among the youth. So, and that's quite huge. I mean, I remember that before 2015, ACN or whatever party is not getting a vote like this in the southeast, anywhere in the southeast. Yeah. You understand? They will get 3,000, 5,000 in a whole state. No, in a state with small voting population like Ekiti, and the Labour Party could muster 11,000 votes. I think it's commendable. You know, that means there is brighter hope. So the tsunami of the APC didn't work here, because I was expecting a clean sweep. I mean, a lot of people were expecting a clean sweep, maybe a 95%, 90 to 95%, but it didn't work. You can see that the PDP is very strong. The Labour Party is giving a good account of themselves. I'm only disappointed about the NNPP. That means it's either they didn't work there, maybe they selected where they want to work, they didn't work there. And I don't know if the president candidate of the Labour Party visited Ekiti. And I don't know, but so you see the process now. You have done only one state. Meanwhile, you are waiting for 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. So how long will this thing drag? And the more it drags, the more apprehension comes in. And then the more people who want to create problems begin to perfect and formulate that up. Now, if these things have been announced in their respective states, announce, not declare. Not declare the winner. You announce.
Just as it's done at the polling unit.
Yes.
You announce it.
You didn't declare it. You're not declaring the result. You announce it.
We only said this party's had this, and that's it.
And that's it. And everybody's putting it down. Then the man in Abuja is taking it there. And then they announce that this issue of bringing everybody to Abuja to sit down. Look at the ceremony. The American ambassador was there. The British ambassador was there.
High
High Commissioner was there. And other, these are the ones recognized. Maybe other ones, the EU might be there, other ones. And then you started now for a 10 minutes event, 10-15 minutes event.
And they've been there sitting down since. Because it was supposed to start at 6 a.m.
And then they will go
6
back
p.m.
and then come back by 11. How long would that last?
Yeah.
Look, Nigerians, let's wake up. This is clumsy. This is too clumsy for a 21st century tech-savvy country that needs to move forward. This is too clumsy. You can't be taking us back. You can't be taking us back with things like this. We don't. It's too clumsy. Look, governorship election. If you're gonna, by now, the states are already declared their results. In governorship, no, I think no one lasts more than for 24 hours. But look at it now. Only one state.
I think we need to trust more on the system. I think the problem is not that we could make a mistake within the value chain. We can make a mistake, we own up to it, and then we'll be able to correct. Like he says, I am aware that the youthful population and the techie, you look at fintech, that will exports elsewhere. We are by far more than this. What is lacking here, therefore, is the issue of confidence, the issue of trust. You mentioned it earlier. Between declaring at the state and what have you, perhaps something else will happen. The beavers will just suddenly get missing. But you announce this at the state, why are we not getting this kind of thing? But if it's been uploaded and the system is on, I will recommend that we do more and more of simulation, especially when we are going to be off election season. Let's just continue to do that. That is what is done in other places. Just simulate it and just assume it's going to be a good election. How very well can we then do this and collect the results, look at your margin of errors, if there is any, and then we begin to build on it. Call the political parties. This is exactly what we want to do and all that. People come in, and if we've tested that on a couple of occasions and it has passed, even if it is 90%, then we are good to go.
Good to go.
So that is the way I see it. My heart, my prayers, and my thoughts to all the other resident electoral commissioners who are on their way. I pray that they get to the collation centers safe. This is the back pang of wanting to get a baby. We had this the last time. The thought was that we are going to improve
on it.
Why are we not improving on that? Okay, plus or minus, half-filled bottle. It's okay. It's not totally empty, but we must be seen to be improving. Again, congratulations to APC for this showing, and congratulate every other party, and congratulate the whole of Nigerians.
Okay. All right, we have to leave it here now. We thank you so much, Akin Fatunke, for coming on the program. All of your insight is really acknowledged, and we thank you so much for your wisdom and insight. Alistair Wilcox, we thank you as well for your contribution here. Has really added a lot of value to
It's always my pleasure.
the discussions.
It's always
Thank
my
you, thank you
pleasure.
very much.
I was just going to say, Alistair, maybe when next I see you, I like to see you in local content. Alistair, Wilcox are English.
No. There's a middle name. There's a middle name. Tamu Nonimi.
Aha, okay. So he has balanced it somehow. Okay.